What is holy ground? This is a religious concept that I've always struggled with. When I was younger, I just chalked it up to something the ancients did that wasn't really relevant in the 20th and 21st centuries. Pastors and commentaries would talk about the word holy, meaning set apart, or special, but that didn't seem like it fit to me. When God told Moses to take his sandals off because he was standing on holy ground, that feels just a little off from special. And there were other special places that weren't described as holy. The king's palace was special, but it wasn't holy. The Mount of Olives was special, but it's never called the Holy Mount of Olives. Of course, over the centuries, some of these would become holy, whatever that means. They didn't start that way, though. Trying to understand holiness was one of the first things to lead me down the path to my substance tripartitism. I'm what most philosophers call a substance dualist. I think that there is the material world, like rocks and trees and sticks and things, and there is the world of ideas, like numbers, shapes, thoughts, and feelings. The difference between me and other substance dualists is that I break the world of ideas in two. There are objective ideas that exist in themselves, and there are subjective ideas that exist only in those that think about them. That's why I don't like the term ideas as much. The objective ideas, like numbers and shapes, I prefer to call the metaphysical world. The subjective ideas, like thoughts and emotions, I prefer to call the mental world. It can be hard to distinguish which is which. It intuitively feels like a country such as the USA should belong to the physical world and be something we can touch, but it actually belongs to the mental world. It intuitively feels like language belongs to the metaphysical world, and if we use a word wrong, it's objectively incorrect, but it actually belongs to the mental world. At some level, it feels like the declaration of a place as holy should be objective. We want to think that if the priest walks in and says the right words, God will honor that and mark off a space. Maybe he will. In this movie, John Wick is dealing with the consequences of killing a rival on consecrated ground. The murder occurred in the previous movie. In the process of trying to escape, the consecration of the Continental Hotel of New York was lifted, and all it took was a phone call. Consecration in the John Wick world is mental, but it feels metaphysical. It feels like there are consequences for ignoring consecration, but there are only consequences because everyone agrees to enforce them. There is something similar in the idea of holy ground. Because we agree to honor God in a place, that place has meaning to us. We can enter God's presence in peace because we all agree to be servants of God's peace in a place. That's what it means for it to be holy ground.